Flint, now that you've been here for almost 2 weeks, do you think it's necessary to have a translator go around with you?
I think it depends what you're doing. I think if you're going around the shops or going for restaurants for more touristy, I think you should be fine. But I think for business, I think it'd be quite important. Especially if you go rural. If you go rural north or rural south, no one can speak English. So it's quite difficult.
Agree. And a lot of times when the first people you interact with at a factory are the owners or the higher senior merchandisers or salespeople, and they speak English. But as soon as you start getting into the details and start working with the staff that are making things happen, their English is not as good as the owners. Yeah. Hi, my name is Chris. I've been working in Vietnam as a manufacturing consultant since 2008. How can we grow your business with production in Vietnam? I offer ebooks, audiobooks, online courses, and consulting to help you find factories, get price quotes, and samples made quickly. Welcome to another Voice of Vietnam Manufacturing interview where we ask questions and get answers from industry experts like Dan and Flint, who are here in Vietnam on a sourcing trip. First question is, what brought you to Vietnam?
We have an e-commerce brand that's pretty much based around cut and sew. So we really came to Vietnam to look for a reliable manufacturer that would be willing to work with us for our custom needs. I visited pre-COVID in 2018, and this has been my first opportunity to get back into the country.
What were some of the challenges of getting back into the country post-COVID?
You probably noticed from my accent, we're from Australia. So in Australia, it's quite strict around vaccinations. So I had to pretty much to travel internationally, you have to have your full vaccination. The Vietnamese side, they wanted the minimum health cover. So you had to take out insurance for healthcare if you decide to travel here. And that was pretty much it.
Were you able to do all the paperwork in Australia, or did you have to contact an entity in Vietnam?
Yeah, we like I said, this is still early. This is sort of mid 2022. The Vietnamese embassy in Australia wasn't a great deal of help. At this stage, we couldn't apply online to get our visas, so we did it through the Vietnamese government portal this end. And it's just an area you have to be aware that there are several bogus
like fake
accounts
visa.
on there. So there is only one. I'm sure if you're happy to put it in the link in the video,
good idea.
They'll give you a better insight, so you don't make that sort of mistake.
And Dan, how did you find it easy to get around the city and to get around the countryside visiting factories?
Yeah, I found it pretty straightforward. They have a version. It's not Uber. They've got a version here called Grab. So my recommendation for your two choices is Grab, which Flint very easily downloaded on his phone. You can link your credit card, so very similar to Uber. And the other, there's two taxi companies here. There's a lot of people freestyling, but I really recommend Visa Sun. Most of the time, if we travel by taxi, it'll be with Visa Sun. Otherwise, Grab.
Right.
Yeah.
So Grab is green, Visa Sun is white, the taxis are white, and then there's also My Lin, which is green taxi.
Yeah.
And it works well.
Visa Sun's like in Australia, it's like a traditional taxi, so you can actually see your fare.
Exactly.
Here, so it's regulated by the government.
Always go by the meter. If they try to negotiate a price not using the meter, get out. Speaking of traveling far, did you make it out to the Cu Chi tunnels?
Yeah, so we went to the Cu Chi tunnels. I think it's an hour and a half from Ho Chi Minh. And I think it was really interesting to see the Vietnamese perspective on the war, because I learnt the Vietnam War in Australia, and our perspective of it is very different. It's very, Australia-sided, we were the heroes. And interesting seeing the other perspective, the Vietnamese perspective of kind of the invaders. And interesting as well, going into the tunnels and seeing what the Vietnamese people had to go through. And I think it was just amazing, just the size of them. Just like, it was really long, but really tight. Yeah, so it was pretty crazy.
Thanks for listening. Are you thinking about producing apparel in Vietnam for the first time? Allow me to recommend my online course, which is called How to Get Started Manufacturing Apparel in Vietnam. Or check out one of my books. I have a book on garment production from A to Z with an emphasis on what challenges you'll face in Vietnam. I have a book on how to buy eco-fabrics, where to buy them. I have a book on managing quality control, and also a book on how to make your tech packs in Vietnam. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day. Remember to connect with me on LinkedIn and let's talk about what is possible in Vietnam.